It's May 11th, 5:30 PM. Welcome to the City of Kingfisher Commission meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. If you would, please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Mr. Massey, if you would, please lead us in prayer, and we thank you for being here.
Going to remain standing?
Yes,
This
sir.
might take a while.
Oh, that's, hey, if you need to preach, we probably need to hear it.
Okay. I just want to commend you guys, first of all of you, for opening city meetings with a pledge of allegiance and prayer. We can't take that for granted anymore. There's a lot of cities that have left that out. So I want to thank you for opening all your meetings with the pledge of allegiance and prayer. Got a couple of scriptures I want to share with you, and then we'll pray. One, we're told as God's people to pray for the peace and prosperity of our city, because as the city prospers, the people prosper. And so we just want to begin to do that tonight, to pray for the peace of this city and that people would prosper in it. We're also told to pray and give intercession and thanksgiving for all the people and the leadership, those in authority in our cities. So we want to lift all you people up tonight. So let's pray together. Our Father in heaven, we give you thanksgiving tonight, and we praise you for your goodness and kindness extended toward us in your Son, Christ Jesus, who has taken away all of our sins and given us a way to be saved, born again, and enter into the kingdom of God. And so we thank you, Lord, as citizens of the kingdom of heaven tonight. We come before your throne of grace to lift up this city to you, to lift up its citizens. We come before you, O God, because you are the God who blesses and protects and watch over people as we follow after you. May our hearts, Lord, be open to the Holy Spirit, who desires that we live in peace and unity with each other. In the name of Jesus, Lord, we come against any principalities and powers, spirits of division, bitterness, or lawlessness that is attacking our city and our people. And we command you to cease in your maneuvers against us. And we declare this in the name of Jesus. Lord, we ask you to bless the families in this city. As the family goes, so goes this city. Lord, we ask you to watch over and protect our schools, administrators, teachers, children. Grant us, O God, administrators and teachers that can get along and work in peace together so that our schools can prosper. We pray that you bless businesses in Kingfisher, Lord. Give owners wisdom and ability to prosper and grow and create job opportunities for our citizens so that we all prosper. And Lord, I want to thank you for these leaders of this city, that you've given them this opportunity and responsibility to serve your people with wisdom and ability and integrity. I lift up our mayor to you, our commissioners. I lift up our city manager, Jim, and our city clerk, Brittany. And I pray, Lord, that you grant them wisdom and ability as they transact the business of this city, and that you watch over and protect them and those in every department that provide the services we need. Watch over our city, Lord. Grant us a safe, secure, and peaceful city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Brittany, would you call roll?
Jeff Whitrock.
Here.
Jeff Colville.
Here.
Kyle Mecklenburg.
Here.
Daniel Rule.
Here.
Jeremy Hill.
Here.
Okay. First item on the agenda is the consent docket. Any questions, comments, or anything we need to pull out? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve consent docket. Second.
Commissioner Hill was absent on that day, so I don't know, does he need to abstain?
I watched it.
Oh, you watched, okay.
Yep.
Hasn't popped up yet.
Not yet.
No, I just put it on top there. Yep.
Yours pop up?
Yep. I don't even show the meetings on yet, so I'm trying to refresh.
Okay, you want me to vote for you?
Yes.
Jeff Cobalt, you want me to vote for you? Are you in?
Think I am. Yes, I am. Yes,
Okay, got you. Okay, your motion passed.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is some proclamations. The first, item 3A, we are going to skip, so we'll move to item 3B. And so I will read that here now. Do we want to have them come forward? Yeah, or we can
I
get
want
a
a
picture.
picture too.
Yeah, okay. So it's Mental Health Awareness Month, 2026, whereas mental health is essential to the overall health and well-being of every individual, and whereas millions of Americans live with mental health conditions, and many face barriers to treatment, including stigma, lack of awareness, and limited access to care, and whereas the Mental Health Awareness Month provides an opportunity to break the silence and raise awareness of the importance of mental health while encouraging individuals to seek help when needed. And whereas the theme for Mental Health Awareness Month 2026, More Good Days Together, highlights the vital role that community, support systems, and meaningful relationships play in mental well-being. And whereas through education, advocacy, and the promotion of resources, we can foster an environment where everyone feels supported in their journey toward mental health wellness. And whereas it is crucial to recognize the diverse needs of all individuals, including adolescents, older adults, veterans, and historically underserved populations by ensuring equitable access to mental health care and support. And whereas every person, organization, community has a role to play in ending stigma, advancing mental health equity, and creating a culture where mental health is treated with the same priority as physical health. Now therefore, I, Jeff Cobalt, Mayor, do hereby proclaim May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month in the city of Kingfisher, Kingfisher County of Kingfisher, Oklahoma. I call upon all citizens, businesses, schools, and community organizations to join me in this effort to prioritize mental health, promote understanding, and extend compassion to those affected by mental health challenges. Together we can create a world where mental health is valued, understood, and accessible to all. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Kingfisher, County of Kingfisher, Oklahoma, to be affixed this 11th of May, 2026. So, yes.
We're gonna stand in front of the flag.
Thank you very much.
The next item is item 3C, a proclamation for Mr. Gary Reed. So whereas Gary Reed, publisher emeritus of the Kingfisher Times and Free Press, has dedicated more than 6 decades to journalism and public service, and whereas Mr. Reed purchased the Kingfisher Times and Free Press in 1979 and has since been a steadfast voice for transparency, accountability, and the public's right to know within the Kingfisher community. And whereas throughout his distinguished career, Mr. Reed has been recognized for his integrity and commitment to journalism, including being named Kingfisher Citizen of the Year, receiving the Oklahoma Press Association's Beachy Musselman Award, the Society of Professional Journalists First Amendment Award, the Kingfisher County Bar Association's Liberty Bell Award, and induction into the Oklahoma Journalism Hall of Fame. And whereas now in his 10th decade of life, Mr. Reed continues to serve the community through his writing, editorial leadership, and enduring dedication to local journalism,
while also being a devoted father, grandfather, and great-grandfather whose family remains an important part of his life. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the city of Kingfisher does hereby recognize and honor Gary Reed for his extraordinary contributions to journalism, public service, and the Kingfisher community, and extends its gratitude and appreciation for his lifelong commitment to informing and serving the public.
Barry, why don't you take him in front of the flag too?
Where am I supposed to be?
Right over here in front of the flag.
Okay. You didn't need to do this.
Special guy.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Look this way, hey. Here we go.
Your dad can treat you that way.
That's right. I'm gonna get on and
All right. Next item on the agenda is item 3D. It's a presentation by Brian Walters in honor of his late father, former Mayor Robert Walters, recognizing his legacy through the creation of a memorial site dedicated to his memory. So, Brian, if you would, come
Thank you.
and inform, please.
So, council members are pretty aware, but again, this is the image of what is envisioned. And this is down at the swinging bridge on what would be the west side of the swinging bridge. And it is it's a swing to look back upon the park, and it plays a role. And let me just read here. It's better for me to read, that way I don't get out of hand, okay? This is just a couple of moments, okay? Dear council members, thank you for your continuing service and for the opportunity to share a few brief points about Kingfisher's history, my father's life, and Kingfisher's Walter Park. I know all of you, but for any who may be here or listening online who don't know, Walter Park is a former set of tennis courts located on the west end of the famous swinging bridge in Kingfisher Park. Walter Park was built with funds from a federal land and water grant after my father's passing in 1973. While technically still a park, Walter Park long has suffered from lack of use as a tennis facility. Then it lost its place as a skate park site when the skate ramps were moved to Newfield Park. The park is nothing more than blank pavement today. My father, Robert L. Walter, was a plumber by trade who ultimately became an independent businessman in downtown Kingfisher. Indeed, when he died in 1973, at his age 48 and my own age 10, his business was located where my business, WBC, is today. Bob, as he was known, long served on the city council with rotations as mayor. That was the habit back then. You might say he served in the day when Kingfisher's city government was moving into maturity. As an example, his name can be found on the memorial plates of the huge electrical generators in our power plant. He and his fellow council members moved Kingfisher from the old city father model to the modern city manager model. Now, for what I'm proposing, I'm proposing that the city renew its commitment to its original intention, which was to honor my father's legacy, but also to the intention of the Land and Water Grant Program, which is to protect natural resources and expand outdoor recreation. The plan as proposed strives to add a destination to a leisure walk across the swinging bridge, provide a place to enjoy one of Kingfisher's best views, featuring the beautiful mature bur oak trees prominent in that area of the park, while also enjoying a view of the Kingfisher's Uncle John Creek, the swinging bridge, and our town's only waterfall. The plan proposes to do this for a very minimal cost and strives to add virtually no new park maintenance. With respect for your service and love for our community,
I ask that you approve $25,000 to fund these long-needed improvements at Walter Park. So that's my request, and thank you for hearing me. I've spoke to Jim, and I was glad to hear that it's kind of budgeted in, so I don't know if we need a second and a motion and all that stuff, or just a...
We're not even set up to take a motion.
We
today.
don't.
Just
Okay.
information.
Okay,
Yeah.
just information.
Yeah.
Okay, very fine.
Yeah.
All right. Very
Any
good. Well, thank you all
questions
for the
of
opportunity.
Mr. Walker?
Yeah, any questions of anybody? No? All right, well, thank you, man.
Okay, we'll move on to item 3E, discussion and possible action to approve awarding the Will Rogers Drive Pavement Improvement Project contract to Rudy Construction Company for $398,990.77. Mr. Thomas?
I'm gonna turn it over to Steve Manick. He was our consulting engineer with Team Design.
Good evening, commission members and mayor. Steve Manick, Team Design. Yes, as Mr. Thomas said, we've taken bids, open bids. The low bidder was Rudy Construction, and I got an incredibly low bid from him, and they're ready to get started. So we recommend approval of the contract, and if it's approved, we'll have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow, and construction will commence really quick. So want to get it done while the weather's good, and go from there. Gladly answer any questions you may have.
Steve, we got 6 bids.
We had 5 bids
Five
and the
bids.
engineer's estimate, and again, our estimate was right at $506,000, $507,000. Bids ranged from $585 all the way down to $398. So again, incredibly low bid. Great time to bid these type projects because larger cities in the area aren't putting any work out, so contractors need work.
You've done work with Rudy before.
Yes, done work
They
with
have a
Ruby.
good reputation.
Yeah, good reputation. They'll get in, get it done. Yeah.
My only concern right now is this week is a busy week with school and Saturday's graduation. So how can we handle
So-
road closures on Saturday?
We'll make sure, again, the pre-work is tomorrow. That we'll know when they want to start. They want to start soon. So we can always say, you're not starting till this date. So now that we know there's some things going on here, I don't anticipate them starting this week. They've got to move in their traffic control signs and their equipment. So even if they did, it wouldn't be started. So at the meeting tomorrow, we'll let them know that they cannot start until,
I'm just one
Monday?
voice, but
No,
my
that's,
preference would be the next Monday if everybody's on board with.
Well, I imagine it's up to them. I don't think they're gonna pull in tomorrow. They just had Okie locates out there today.
yeah, it's going to take some time. Again, pre-work tomorrow, Tuesday. Again, they still got to get their traffic control and all sorts of stuff set up. So we'll just let them know.
That far enough off the street so that it won't impede any traffic.
Right. So until they get started, once they get started, which again, we'll give everybody an update after the meeting tomorrow. And again, as the city's representatives and the city will be there, we'll let them know that you're not starting this week. You can start here. Again, they're still sending us submittals, which can't be approved till the contract's approved on concrete mix designs, asphalt mix designs, all those things. So it will take a few days anyway to get all those approved, but we'll let them know that they're good to start next week to watch out for the traffic. Once they start, again, we anticipated 2 phases, one side of the street and the other. They're contractors. They may have a different idea that may be more efficient. So if they do, they'll present that to us so that we can review and make recommendations on that as well. But we've allowed for 60 days for the construction. There's a lot of base repair that needs to be done. There's some curb and gutter that needs to be replaced and some things like that. So again, it will be a work zone. So if you're listening, be careful out there, go slow. And once it gets done, it'll be real nice when we get done.
And Steve, this price includes the amendment.
It includes that
Or
amendment.
addendum, I'm sorry.
The alternate for the
Yeah.
drainage going the other way. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This was again, a really good, we had several really good bids, but theirs was really good.
Yeah.
So Steve, about that, I mean, with there being such a discrepancy in the bids, I'm assuming, and I just want to hear from you that the engineers did look at the bids, and this bid is to all the specs of the project, and there's no using sub level materials or anything.
No, basically what we're hearing is that, again, they need work. They've got 3 crews working on one job, so they need more jobs to keep their guys busy. And some people will bid it almost at cost to keep their crews working. I will tell you, do some work in another community, and I had this exact same thing go on with another project. They were $100,000 low, and the guy's like, I need the work. So this will keep me going for 6 weeks, 2 months until I can get another job and move on to that. So yeah, Rudy's done good work. I've dealt with him for 20, how many years? 28, 29 years on different projects. Never had an issue. We will actually be inspecting the project to ensure that what is in the plans and specifications is being put down. So we've got you covered coming and going.
And then, I know just for people listening online and stuff, can you just very quickly tell us what the project is? I mean, it's not just going and putting new asphalt on top of what's already there.
No.
Can you just, I mean, not the War and Peace, but just the kind
Right.
of
I kind of brought a picture here. We took cores of the pavement, and that's the top 2 inches where it's delaminated and desegregated and just fallen apart. So basically, this project is to take the top 2 inches of asphalt off. Once we take the top 2 inches off, we can find areas that have base failure. That's where some of the rutting and some of the areas where it's been patched and continues to settle. We'll take that out, redo the subgrade, come back up with asphalt, and then pave back over it. So it's all new paving for the top 2 inches, base repair, all new striping, actually all new signage, new curb and gutter in many areas where it's either broken or sagged. Street's going to be brand new.
perfect.
And
Thank
the
you.
closed loop for the light? Is that
Yes, there
also
is.
included?
There is one advanced loop. It's
Okay.
kind of near the McDonald's out in the middle lane, and that is included in the bid as well. Yes.
So explain how that works, because that's always been a concern of citizens for 30 years I've been around.
Yeah, so the way the signals are up here, they use inductive loops. So that is basically wire in the ground that's been sawed in, and as a car breaks it, it breaks the electromotive, whatever you want to call it, force, and I don't know all the technical terms, no signals, and that lets it know that a car's there. So the ones at the signal are called presence loops, and that's actually in the concrete section of the intersection. And then you don't have to have them in both lanes because your right turn lane or your outside lane's a right turn lane. So the signal doesn't know somebody's coming that way because you can turn on right. But the inside lane, it needs to know that a car is coming so that it can think, hey, there's no traffic going north and south on 81. So we need to start the signal timing to let this car go. So we're replacing that loop so that it continues to attenuate the cars when they come in and know that a car is coming. And then when the car gets to the intersection, it needs to get on the presence loop. It can't stop short or go past it. But when it's on the loop, the signal knows it's there. There's timings. It's not going to change right away depending on your settings, but it will, whether it's on a pre-timed or actuated, again, I haven't been into your controller cabinets, it'll let that car go.
Are those sensitive enough to detect motorcycles as well?
They're supposed to be if you're on a big enough motorcycle with enough metal on it.
Okay.
If you're on an e-bike or something, probably not. And there are new technologies for that, for bikes and smaller things, but it can get kind of expensive to retrofit a signal for those, or for infrared, or those type video detection type
So that
signals.
what the sensor that you're proposing is the best for our situation?
It's
there?
what you have out there now, so we're replacing in kind with that inductive loop.
Okay.
It's the only thing we could put in without changing the whole detection of the signal, which would have been not quite as much as this project, but a lot.
Did we put in any language for earlier penalty on that 60 days?
So we did not put an early completion incentive, and I believe there's LDs for after, but unless it rains, I have a feeling they're going to be in and out here pretty quick. But we'll know more about that tomorrow, and we'll keep you updated throughout the process.
And the intent is to try to keep 2 lanes through the process the whole time?
That is the intent. That's why we had 2 phases.
Okay.
We did not plan for any road closures. Again, so if the contractor has something different, he can propose that. But this is a main thoroughfare. It goes to the school, it goes to the library, it goes to numerous residential streets in that area, which I know some you can get through the neighborhood, but the ones on the north you can't, or the south you can't. So we got to keep it open to traffic, and the library's there.
So Steve, I didn't ask you this, but it's in relation to Councilman Mecklenburg. Your estimate on this project is about $105,000 higher than the low bid.
Right?
You used historical data when you put your estimate together, but you still feel comfortable with,
Yes, 100%.
okay.
Again, if you saw the bid ranges through there, I mean, 5 to 10% is pretty typical. We just happened to get 20
Yeah.
because one guy really wanted the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
Council, motion to approve awarding the contract, Will Rogers pavement to Ruby Construction.
Name which budget you're gonna take it out of? Jim,
Probably the capital improvement.
the fire capital improvement fund?
Yeah,
Okay.
And it's gonna be on 26 budget or 27 budget?
it'll come out at 26, yeah, because we're gonna start in this fiscal year.
So does the motion need to include that?
If she wants it out of a specific item, I'd go ahead and include it.
Okay, would you amend your motion?
To call out, what was it?
The
Fire-
capital
The
improvement.
capital improvement.
Yeah.
The fire, the FIRE
Oh, yeah. The half a cent that we're getting, we can
Yeah.
use money out of that,
for capital projects as well.
yeah.
Okay, so motion to approve the awarding of the Will Rogers pavement to Rudy Construction using the fire fund.
Sales tax.
Fire sales tax fund.
Second.
Kyle, did you say second?
I did, yes, ma'am.
And I'm not up on computer, so I vote yes.
Okay,
I've tried my phone and computer and everything's dead.
you're good. I got you. Thank
It says no.
you. Your motion passed.
Okay. Item 3F is the discussion and possible action to approve the Parkville invoice for $146,250 for the final design of the airport runway. Is Bill here?
No, they're still in executive.
Oh, okay. Toby Baker's not here?
Toby Baker's not here.
Okay, do you wanna?
I can carry it. Jonah and I met with them, along with John Gooden, discussed this. This is coming out of their $2.7 million grant that they've got. The project is out to bid right now, and they just need to get this invoice paid. So I'd recommend we pay it, and we'll get reimbursed from the grant.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Do we have a motion? Not everybody at once.
Motion to approve item F.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you.
One item that I will clarify in the bid, they realize that they've got a limited number of dollars available for this project. And they're gonna do it in 100-foot lengths so that, once they get to a certain cost, it'll be covered. I mean, they originally, when this grant first came out in 2023, they were gonna extend the runway by 1,200 linear feet. That may not be possible because of the cost of construction and so on.
They're gonna construct it, to 3,500 foot. It's 2,800 foot right now. They're gonna construct it and go up to 30, this is what Bill told me, would go up to
Yes.
3,500 for
Yes.
sure. And then after the 3,500, they're gonna go and
100
approve
foot.
100-foot increments based off of the money that they have left over. So it may end up being 37, 38, 39. It may go all the way to 4,000, which is the original plan. But it all depends on if, based off the funds they currently have, and or if they could get approval for additional funds.
Yes, that's correct.
And they're hopefully will start construction in July. And from my understanding, they're not going to shut down the runway during the process. They're just going to have a 300-foot threshold. Is what I'm thinking of. 300-foot threshold for the construction area. So we'll still be able to utilize the runway during
That's correct.
during the process.
Do the wetlands have to be completed before they start or not?
That was a discussion item we had, and they're supposed to be looking into that, because they do have the 404 permit already. We are working ahead, John Gooden and I are working on Harry's Hole. They don't think so, but they're gonna confirm that with the Corps of Engineers. And my belief, if I remember right, I think the bid's open May 20th, Jonah, is that correct? And so it'll be available, if everything goes well, we're gonna put it on the June council meeting, commission meeting to approve so we'll know pretty quickly what the prices are and how it's coming.
Okay.
Your motion passed.
Item 3F is approved. We'll go to 3G, discussion possible action to approve ordinance 2026-002 for hotel occupancy excise tax.
In talking with the city attorney, because the public approved it, the way we wrote the question for the ballot, this is not necessary.
Okay?
So this sales tax will go into place July 1. Anita's telling me that the State Tax Commission wants us to start on a quarter. So we'll just start July 1 collecting that. We'll notify the motels in the community. So there's no action necessary on G.
Okay.
Just if I can, to
Go
clarify
ahead.
that just a little, just anytime we do a sales tax, a renewal of the sales tax, the hotel tax, we actually pass an ordinance first that is subject to the approval of the voters. Then we also at the same time do a resolution calling for the election. So the board approved it. Now the people have approved it. So I think we're good to go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
Item 3H is a discussion and possible action to approve budget amendments. Ms. James.
This is kind of a preliminary cleanup. Recognizing, GMIT, we got two different pieces this year. That's based on Medicare and ambulance bills. So I'm recognizing those grants that we got for the fire department. And then they purchased quite a bit of tools, which will be reimbursed. We didn't get reimbursed until this month, but that $102,000 worth of, I think it's Life Pack and some other equipment. So recognize that expense because that wasn't budgeted, but it was 100% reimbursed through the 522.
That's the stuff we approved last meeting.
Yeah. And just cleaning up the park had some items that went over this year, the cemetery. And we did last month transfer some money out of Public Works and the city side to self-insurance to cover some invoices we had come in that exceeded what the funds were that we had available, so.
Anita, what were the park contract services? What were that for?
I don't remember exactly which contract services that was for. It was probably, if I'm guessing, it's for porta potties because we had more porta potties this year than normal. We added them in several different
So
locations.
it's contractor services, not contract as far as.
Yeah, we
contract as
put porta
far-
potties
okay.
under contract services because they completely maintain everything to do with them.
Mhm.
So that's the main thing on it. And then like the construction, when we did the depot work, that wasn't budgeted, but if you've been down there, it's really nice. And then on the fire tax fund, well, look, there's $400,000 we put in there to do Will Rogers. On the fire truck that you guys approved last month, since you approved it, we had to make a budget amendment. So I put that in general capital improvement fund for the $450. And then to Public Works,
Oh, we don't need to do that yet, right? We need to do that at Public Works.
you want me to explain it now while I'm here?
Sure. Get
Okay.
it over with.
I usually do them all while I'm up here,
Okay,
so.
all right. Well, didn't have it on this one, so, but yeah, get
yeah.
after it.
The SCADA system that we put in, capital, the new water meters that we ordered, they weren't, the extra ones that we ordered for this last round, they weren't in there. And the fence at the water tower, Infomark expenses for this year. And the electric meters that we ordered for, we really had room in their budget, so I didn't do one for them. We had extra monies we hadn't spent in there, so I didn't do a budget amendment for the extra electric meters that we ordered for Nighthawk. So sewer wages because we had those buyouts, and then the sewer maintenance and repairs because we had a lot of pumps and we had that huge. I can't remember where was that one at. The repair that we had that was huge this year.
What was the total?
The one that ONG, I did 248,000 because there were so many different invoices. It added up to quite a bit. We did have,
that sewer line
That was
break at
fast.
Fay Avenue.
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
That was 85,000.
Yeah. Recognize loan proceeds that we will have on the AMIs. so that offsets that. And then also a transfer to self-insurance. PWA and city both transferred $20,000.
Did you budget in that, or did you amend for the pump station that they're getting ready to do? That we're trying to put in 26 FY?
The
Booster
meter
station.
meter booster.
Probably not. Because I probably didn't have that one yet at the time I was doing these.
Probably have to do that in June.
Yeah.
So it'll be in there.
Okay.
And then in self-insurance, just recognizing receiving the money from the city and PWA. Damage claims are at about 9,800 right now, or 98,000, and insurance has reimbursed 93,000. And we've got some damage claims still to pay, but actually compared to some years Jonah and I were going through it, that's pretty low.
Knock on wood.
Not over yet.
Find real wood.
Any questions of Ms. James? If not, do we have a motion to accept the first three? We'll do the,
All you can do is the city ones right now.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendments for the regular meeting agenda item.
Thank you. Wait a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can only hear parts of it.
I think I'm in. but
I am too, but I have to hit show voting.
Okay, let me try that.
So,
Nope, didn't do nothing. I guess give me a yes.
And when we go to next one, your motion passed.
thank you.
It's like a
Item 3H is approved. Item 3I is the presentation of the draft fiscal year 2026-2027 summary budget by Mr. Humes.
Thank you, Mayor and City Commissioners. Appreciate the time. And I'm grateful for a 9:30 basketball game, although I'm still not sure I'm able to stay out. But
I'll text you.
I'm glad, yeah. 10:30 is my goal. If I can make it to halftime, actually. But all my kids want to stay up, so we'll see. So this is, if the technology works, we practice this.
Hey,
Oh,
I gotta go back. Hold on.
I can switch it from
Go
here.
for it.
All right. So this is, I think I can switch it from here. Okay. So this is the agenda. That's what we wanted to go over. You received a budget booklet on Friday from Jim. This is basically that. So if you read through that, it's just a primer to kind of get you thinking about questions you might have over the next couple of weeks after you receive the preliminary budget tonight after this meeting to go over. So this is just one of those tools we can use to try to get you thinking and seeing the big picture on a lot of these things. So some of it's old hat, especially for those who've been on the commission. So we put some things in that are going to be obviously things you already know, but just to make sure everybody's on the same page on kind of our thinking with the budget. So we'll go over just introduction and overview, some of the major fund summaries. Again, you've received those, so we won't get into huge details on that yet. Let's see. We're too far away. Might have to have you change it there, Brittany. Utility rate overview, and then capital requests. So go on to the next one and see if I can. Okay, so this just describes, again, our sales tax. It's the biggest, it's the biggest thing that we get for operations is sales tax. And we currently have a 3.5% sales tax, and 43% of that's restricted through either the hospital or the fire tax. And the other two are for general operations. Let's see. This year, the projection is 5.9 million in sales tax revenue. I'll go on to the next one, see if I can change. I can change it.
That 5.8, is it just the 2%?
No, that 5.9 is
That's
all of
all
it.
of it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
obviously, we're going to transfer
Okay.
43% of that out. So some of the overall big picture increases we're seeing, we've budgeted a 3% merit increase based on performance evaluations for the employees. That averages about $1,600 if they got the full merit.
per employee in raises and funds. That's about $100,000 wages increase for that. We saw a 10% health insurance increase. We did raise the employees' input for their dependents from 35 to 40%, so they're being asked to give a little more for dependents for those who are still covering the employees themselves 100%, but the dependents have gone up for 5%, try to help share that cost, which is about $15,000 to $20,000 in addition, instead of eating that whole cost with the city. So our portion, the city portion, is $85,000 roughly. This is some just a high view of kind of where we are with our 3 loans. This is, again, a quick review. This is just according to the current schedule on those. That will change depending on how much we can put into it, what future councils or commissions approve, and if we want to pay off some of those earlier, if other funds become available, and you'll see a comment about that in a minute. But these are our current 3 loans, the 2020, the fire station, and the OWRB one we just got in 25. The total payment for this year is just over $1 million. Again, that's funding all of these infrastructure projects that you've approved, trying to get a lot of these things done. Just for your information, the 2020 was for the sewer plant itself. The fire one's obviously the main push there is for the fire station, but also built in some ability to spend on infrastructure where we see savings there, or once that's paid off. So we'll be able to spend that money. And right now we're pulling about $700,000, $750,000 a year on that one. And so then the OWRB, that's for water and sewer infrastructure. We've already started the headworks. We'll talk more about that as we have Park Hill here to talk about that in a minute. And so those are our loans. Now, we did want to highlight again this $3.5 million, the $2.5 million. We did get a letter this week, as you were made aware, from HUD. So not through Lucas's office, but from HUD that we've been approved. We're on their radar, and that $2.5 million hopefully will be coming soon, and that'll help offset some of the loan funds there, help us work on infrastructure with an extra $2.5 million. And then the state, through that P3 program, will get $1 million there. Again, that's key money that we weren't planning on, and that's a significant amount we can spend. I mean, if you think about the $400,000 we're spending on Will Rogers, that opens up a lot of avenues with road infrastructure, specifically, since we've already kind of budgeted, $5 million for sewer and water infrastructure. We now have a few million that will be built in just on our roads and any other infrastructure projects that may come up as we keep exploring, and Infomart keeps finding out new adventures in our sewer system.
Let me just emphasize one thing. This $3.5 million has been earmarked from the federal government as well as the P3 to be spent on the fire station itself. So we will reduce that fiscal impact on the fire station by that $3.5 million. When I received the letter earlier last week from the feds, I had hoped they'd put a check in there, but they didn't. But at least I see that it's starting to get into the process that we'll find out if there are any hiccups we have to it. But the money has been appropriated by the president and Congress.
And Senator Lucas' office has been very helpful with all of this, so very grateful for them and their willingness and pushing this with us. In relationship to the loan, just wanted to again highlight some of the big ticket items that are in the hopper right now, and make sure we don't lose sight of these, since there is significant amount of money being spent and a lot of work being done. So fire station obviously started. Sewer plant headworks, we'll hear tonight they're in 30% plan. Design phase, the meter system upgrade, about $550,000. That's being installed right now. We'll add, and Jim may want to elaborate on this, we've been talking to the water meter people, and they have battery delays in the endpoints. So the endpoints is what communicates the reads out to the system. They're made in Israel, and you can imagine that due to the conflict there and the increasing challenges, even though they've been at war now for a few years, the challenges continue to increase. So Now, they aren't the only utilizers of those batteries. Those are kind of batteries that a lot of these companies utilize. They are seeing some delays, so we are hopeful, but just to put it in your hopper, they told us 6 to 8 weeks on delivery of those. They got all the electric here to us pretty quickly, and those have been being installed, but the water ones have not been delivered because of the delays in batteries. So we're not sure yet when they will be here. They are telling us it's very fluid, and they've ordered 20,000 of those batteries, and we have 1,300 on order. So 1,300 of those are for us, and they'll get those to us as quickly. We met with them here on site, and they came out at our
I got
call.
an email this morning that I'll share with you tomorrow from the company that just expressed frustration. They know we're frustrated. They're willing to help us because I had committed to a July 1 transfer date. We will hit that easily with the electric meters. Mark got 3 pallets of them. There's only 1 pallet left of the electric meters, so we will hit that time. But I am very frustrated with these water whips. They're gonna come out and help us install them once they get here, but it may be June or July before the water whips even get here.
So if we make it all the way to the next FY and we don't have the meter reader and we have a 1,300, what are we gonna do?
He's budgeted in just in case right now.
We've kept them in, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
12 pallets, and we have 4 left, right? Okay.
Is it 12 pallet? Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. And then the hydraulic analysis, that was something that we told Old OBRB we would be doing. So that's in the works for this coming. They're working on that right now as far as just getting some preliminary. We'll be meeting with them as we get some of those other things off the plate pretty quickly. And then we did have a sanitary sewer inspection survey in there as well. That definitely has to be done to some degree. But further discussions on that 1.8 million we told Old OBRB we would spend. And I think there's a different way to look at that. So we do need to look at our sewer system so we can have a general sense and get plans. But we'll bring those to you guys as we get that plan fleshed out.
We have not agreed to either one of those in regards to a consultant for 1.8 or the 200
No.
currently, right?
Correct, yeah. Those are just what we told OWRB we'd
That
be
we do.
spending that 5 million on.
But we didn't name in that document to OWRB.
Correct.
What, yeah, okay.
Correct, yep. I mean, we can amend that as you saw with
Yeah.
working with Mindy there, it's very easy to work with. And, you know, as long as it's within our scope, it's in water sewer and there's logical sense to it, they're pretty open to amending that and making some adjustments if we need to. And
That's why they were supportive of us doing the AMI
Yeah,
meters.
yeah,
you
no,
know, so-
great job on that,
Yeah.
by the way, yeah.
All right. And then just open capital, again, this is a reminder, make sure we're not losing sight of these, you know, bigger ticket items that we've been working on. The fire hydrant replacement, the bid openings for those are June 1st. And so that's replacing 19 fire hydrants, which is great. And most of that, 50,000 of that's ours, and the rest of it's grant. So that's an excellent program I hope we can keep doing and replacing fire hydrants every year until we catch up with that. Then the fire truck you're aware of, it's being built right now, hopefully still available by July. So we've seen pictures, Ryan's been sending us pictures of that. And then Will Rogers overlay, you just got some updates on that, so we get on to that. So these are, this is too small to see. Again, you got this booklet. These are more primers to just kind of get you thinking on some of these. Let's see. So this just kind of looks at basically 97% of the budget. I just wanted to try to give a big picture, big pockets, big chunks of money where they're going. We're happy and hopeful that you ask any line item questions. So as we go through this with you over the next couple of weeks, again, just any line item questions, you know, we may not be able to answer obviously tonight, but we're happy to take any of those requests or questions, and you're surely going to have some, and that's the point. And so, again, this is just maybe another way to spur some thoughts as you go through the budget book. We'll give you at the close after this meeting tonight for you to go over and try to make sense of the budget you'll be approving. Trying to think if there's any big items. Obviously, I put notes there. Those are the biggest notes I thought would be applicable that may draw out questions as you look at this. So go over those notes. As I've tried to understand the budget, being in here just this last few months, this has been helpful for me to go through this. And so I put those notes anticipating you might have some of those questions on why the discrepancy or the changes in over year. So again, ask those questions, email us, call us, whatever. We're here
So
available.
Jonah, total revenue comparing fiscal year 26 to 27 is about 2% less.
Yes, in the simple Excel
Perfect.
spreadsheet math, yeah. But again, you'll see nuances in there, and those are what, we'll happy to, if it's not addressed in those notes. Obviously for me, I was like, where's this 1 million? Oh, that's transferred from ambulance, the money we get for the 522 funds. And so that looks like a big number, and then you're like, okay, that adds up. And so those are the questions we're happy to answer, especially for new commissioners.
And is that proposed? Is that FY27 proposed budget funds, including the possible utilities issue that we're going to have to discuss?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it is
those
included-
are
it is included
those
now.
are included in the CPI increases and anything else, as we'll discuss in a minute. Yeah. Good question. Thank you.
Talking about on the next slide.
And then it's basically the general fund and the KPW. That's 97% of our budget. What's not included there is technically the pool. Obviously, that's going to be in your discussions if you go through those two budgets and you see, the cemetery or the golf or the pool. It's just comparatively speaking, this is covering the big picture stuff to try to be a primer to just prepare any thoughts or questions you might have. So I'll go through these. Again, if there is any questions, that's fine. Just as we get to line item questions, let's get to the utility actually. So in those numbers, Kyle, or Commissioner Mecklenburg, we do have a proposal. So the CPI is built into the ordinance, and that goes up just whatever the CPI is for that year. And we were proposing a 6.7 increase on top of that for just the water and sewer. The number below that's what the additional revenue those numbers will bring in. So sanitation is just the flat contract, 2%. That's what we have in the contract with them. Electric is just the CPI. That's a bigger ticket item and will increase. So we wanted to keep that CPI. What that looks like to individuals is that. So if we did that, 5,000 gallons is about $6 more on average. Sanitation, that's 35 cents again, is to pass through to the sanitation company. And electric is $2.24.
What was your dollar amount for water sewer with just CPI?
That's the next slide. Thank you.
Sorry.
And so, again, in anticipation of any discussions, and as you will be obviously the ultimate approvals of this, we just wanted to give you, the other option. And that's what this is. So it's $138 less in the water and sewer where we'd approve just the CPI or just do the CPI per the ordinance that was already approved. And that's $68,000 more that would generate. And then again, that's $1.98 per 5,000 gallon usage. And then the other two are obviously going to be the same. But just wanted to highlight that. Again, no decisions are being made today, but the current budget is built around the additional 6.7% or the additional $4 in the water and sewer. And were you to approve just the CPI, we'd obviously sharpen the pencil, go back and present to you a balanced budget.
Which is really $140,000 is basically what
Yeah,
it is.
138, according to these numbers, obviously those are rough
Just an additional 138.
estimates. Yeah.
So your balance is with water and sewer at full,
At
not
the-
just CPI.
Correct.
And you're
The CPI plus.
CPI, we need to reduce some numbers.
Yep, and obviously that's what the next few weeks are for, is for us to sharpen that pencil per your direction and make those final amendments needed or changes to balance the budget to present to you at our June 8th meeting. Yep. And then finally, these are the capital expenditures, we are recommending, if you remember at our March meeting, it was originally, 1.2, $1.3 million. Going over this, just a couple items to point out here. Let's see. First one was, just because it's the easiest for me, because I was dealing with it today, is the pool. We budgeted 190. We had one proposal for the boilers at the time. We got a second proposal for the boilers for 2 boilers at 97,000, significantly less. So we did reach out. I reached out to a contact, and we will have another bid. I met with them on Friday out at the pool. They're going to provide a third bid. But looking at the one, the 97,000, they're good name brand boilers. It's a good company that does this work. So I personally am comfortable with this, but I do want to see a third bid just because of the discrepancy. Now the other bid, I'm sure, is just a great company as well. They have a different brand of boiler. So both bids looked good as far as the specs go, is capable to do what we need done, but we're moving the boilers outside.
Is that full encompassing of the whole project, moving outside with
Yep, 2 new boilers outside for 97,000.
And all the plumbing, all the electric, all the
concrete
everything.
and everything?
And like I said, I do have a third. So this number I would say is going to be dramatically less ultimately in the end. And we do have, you did approve in the fiscal year 26 budget $100,000 for this project. So if this other bid comes in soon enough, we may just move forward and get this done before July 1 with the approved budget already.
We've had this in the budget for the last
Couple
2
years,
years,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we were happy with that bid, but I do want to see another one. And the other companies just as capable. They do it all the time. And I talked to him I didn't talk to the other 2, but I talked to this gentleman quite a bit. And I'd be confident that he could do the work as well, his company. Let's see, other items on here. Everything else we talked about, went out and took pictures of all of them. The Lindsay lift station, if you remember from our March meeting, was significantly higher. After visiting the site, I got with Stephen Sears and said, I'm missing something, and he relooked at that and had made a mistake, and so we adjusted the 100,000 to 10,000. So that dramatically changed some numbers that we were looking at. Again, the budget process and how the sausage is made. So those are kind of the big ones there as far as that goes.
You want to mention the police car?
Yes. So there's recommended 2 replacement vehicles, talking to the police chief. If that's one that, whatever your approval is, we would probably shift and adjust and make a recommendation of replacing one, which is the 2017 model. Some of the issues there with that model are it was originally a supervisor vehicle. It doesn't have a person cage. I don't know what you call so it's not secure. It's not built for a patrol right now. And to put that in and everything, new cameras, it just wouldn't make financial sense. So we would still recommend replacing that one. If the budget isn't going to balance per your recommendation, we would adjust that and take one of those off for this fiscal year and relook at that 2020 model next year, possibly.
So the 2 that we're wanting to retire are 2017 and 2020.
2020, yep. And both of them have about 6,000 engine hours on them. Again, that's really good for oil. But some people look at that differently. For me, replacement vehicles is much better with mileage and just visual wear and tear and what we're already putting into it. So we feel like that could work if we have to do that. But there's another place. Again, we're trying to cinch this up and make it as tight as we possibly can. Everything else on there, we'll talk about the Meeker booster station in a minute, or in the next KPWA. So other than that, I think that's it. So again, we would invite any questions you have. I mean, right now, obviously, if you do, but any line item questions, you go over the budget, consider, this primer we've provided. We're happy to discuss any of that over the weeks ahead, so that June 8th you'll be ready to and comfortable with whatever budget we present to you. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? If not, we'll move on to the financial report. Ms. James.
Okay, the first page looks good. We've got a gain of 397,000 on the city side. For the year, it's a loss of 227. Most of the gain, practically all, we got a $533,000 check from the 522, which is actually less than what we expected. But we did find out that the next month that came after what we'd been paid for was rather good. Ryan called and checked on that for me. So that'll get deposited in July. We had a surplus sale of that almost $20,000 of surplus equipment. And the two items that were at 11% was fire department, and that was at 102,000. That the 522 matching equipment for the fire department. And then down on cemetery, we had an annual maintenance contract that hit there, so that one of those annual fees that hits. But still at 397,000 for the month of April. On Public Works, we had a loss of 297,000. The biggest part of that is our electric meters came in at a cost of 321,000. So otherwise, not counting that, we would have actually had a gain for the month. And then we don't have our budget amendments in here yet. It wouldn't say 11% on water if we had our budget amendments in here for the Infomark payment, because water carries 70% of the cost on Infomark for us. So for the year, we're $916,000 behind. A lot of that is repairs that we've made earlier in this year. So
Buying out of employees.
buying out employees. Yeah, we kind of laundry list it for you if we sat down long enough. And then we come to our cash page, and our end of month unencumbered is $8.5 million. And it looks like a lot less from previous years, but we've been spending, or from last year, we've been spending some of that and appropriating some of the money for the fire department, so. And we did get our sales tax in for May, and it's about $5,000 less than last year at 226 for the city side for the 2%. So
We'll continue to see that go upside down with what we're spending on the fire station as compared to what we're collecting in tax.
yeah.
For the-
Now, I do recognize on that spreadsheet the fact that we have a loan, and actually I have also been including our appropriation on there as well from the federal government. So, but yeah, we will see that number as we get it, as it gets more completed, that number will change. So,
It'll continue to look upside down though. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as cash going out, right?
yeah.
Just out of curiosity, and I asked this question, I don't know if you've settled on this, but, where we need to be as far as unencumbered funds carrying forward from year to year in case of emergencies, do we?
There's actually a deal, and Jonah found it in what is that? The fund. We have an ordinance on the fund.
Yeah, 60% of the revenue is the general fund, and that could be interpreted a few ways, I think. It could be anywhere from 9 million to 5 million, 4 million, so those are things, it's not set in stone in the ordinance, but it's a recommendation, so. We're not there right now, obviously, but that's discussion we'll bring to you as we try to figure out a policy on what you guys want to do.
Okay. Any questions of Ms. James? Thank you so much. Put the timer up if you would. 3 minutes. City manager's report.
Mayor, I appreciate the 3 minutes you're giving me.
Yes, sir.
I have tried to keep you abreast of activities. I think I've given 3 hot topics in the last 3 weeks. So the only thing I will say is, as far as the manager's report, we have to publish a tentative budget in the newspaper by, May 25th. And so I hope if there's some clear direction as we get into talking about the utility rates and KBWA, that you'll give us some direction I think Jonah's done a good job laying out what we've built. We built the budget around a 10% utility rate increase for water and sewer. We are definitely spending more money in capital than we have in the previous 2 years, 3 years I've been here. And so I'm like you, I think we need to have adequate cash reserves, but we also have infrastructure needs that need to be addressed. And it's a real delicate balancing act. As you saw in my memo, Travis Archer was very fortunate to convince OWRB to release that 1.1 million that I've been working on for 2.5 years since I got here, and we finally got clearance with that letter. That's low interest rate, it's 1.88%. So we intend on using that money first and getting some things done with the water. So just keep in mind, May 25th, we need to get that resolved.
That money though is going to be used for the headworks, correct?
We can use it
The
there.
loan, yeah.
Yeah, we can use it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thought that was the way it was.
yeah. But it's 1.88%. We've got
Right.
another loan at 4.5%.
Right,
And so I'd rather use that money where we can, because it was just sitting there doing nothing
for sure.
for 3 years since I've been here.
Well, it was tied up because of our,
Yeah,
Yeah.
THM issue, and, yeah. The other thing, my birthday is on Thursday. I don't expect any birthday cards or calls, but I am taking some time off. I'm gonna go see my grandkids, so I will be out of town, but Jonah will be here to man the ship and make sure she stays afloat. Other than that, I don't have any questions. If you have any questions, Commissioner Hill or Commissioner Rowe, on any of my memos, I'd be more than happy to address those. I try to do those on a regular basis to keep the council informed of some things that I'm thinking about are gonna be on the agenda, and I found it to be helpful to get those conversations going. But whenever you get those, if you wanna talk or need a little more information, don't hesitate to reach out to me. All of them reach out and either send me a text or, phone call. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
thanks, sir. Any questions? Mr. Thomas, if not, do we have a motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment. Second.
Does yours pop up?
It has been.
It has?
Yep. Yeah, I just got it.
Okay, we are adjourned. We will reconvene. We'll reconvene as the Kingfisher Public Works Authority. You good, Brittany?
Yeah, I'm moving with y'all.
Okay. First item on the agenda is the consent docket. Questions, concerns, anything need to be pulled out? If not, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent docket.
Second.
Thank you. Somebody's beeping.
Please tell me something's not gonna explode.
Yeah,
Motion passed.
yes. Consent docket's approved. First item is item 3A, a presentation by Parkhill, Mr. Travis Archer on the Headworks project.
Good evening. Jonah's inspired me. Maybe next time I'll do a actual electronic presentation again. But tonight I have some handouts. So this first is
Yeah, we know this works.
so what we're doing tonight is just trying to give everybody a chance to make any comments on what we're at right now, which is a 30% set. So what that means as a 30% set is we've completed survey and some topo work, things of that nature, and we've done some preliminary layouts for our hydraulic model, which we had to have the survey to make sure our plan to avoid any additional pumping and those type of costs, it would work. So we got that in last week, able to establish that we can redirect the current force main into a new structure, our new headwork structure, and then gravity from that into your grit chamber. So no additional intermediate pumping or anything of that nature. So that was good to see. You can flip back a couple of pages there. Some of that's a repeat. So just as a quick reminder, when we first started looking at this, we were initially looking at trying to construct the headworks at the lift station. And then through our preliminary design report, found that we have pretty significant floodplain issues and the costs were going to be prohibitive. So we've moved over to the wastewater treatment plant where headworks would typically reside anyway. And this is our kind of first attempt to make sure that the site and the layout is going to be where we want it to be for the hydraulics of the system. So yes, sir.
This boat anchor that you've got a picture of is alive.
I heard the news. That's fantastic.
Jonah and I were there on Friday. It still needs some work down below, 25 feet down.
Okay.
But I saw the impellers rotating and it was spewing out things that had been drying out for 7 years.
That's exciting news.
Jonah is going to take the commissioners to get a better understanding of what this thing actually does. I still believe we need this on top of the headworks. It will help us minimize the impact.
Sure. Yeah, the Roadmax screen is great for getting some of your heavier debris, larger debris out and protecting your pumps. And that's actually an adjustment in our OPC2, which I want to talk with you, Jim, and Jonah, and Infomark at a later date.
Okay.
In our OPC, which is at the back of this presentation, we've removed the pumps because we had fairly expensive ones in there for grinders and or chopper pump type configuration. But we went in, we took them off when we found out this was working.
Yeah.
We can always add them back. Yeah. It's not a huge issue, but I just wanted to keep the OPC focused on the bar screens themselves.
Okay.
So you'll see that that's been deleted out.
Okay.
We can always come back, add it in, but I want to have
Yeah.
those discussions about our confidence level and that screen. And, we don't need the Rotamax and chopper pumps and a bar screen necessarily. That's belt suspenders and I'm not sure what else.
I mean, the building
but
still
that's
needs
good.
some attention. It needs a cooling system
Sure.
that was not lacking, but at least the technology, what I saw, it still works between Infomark and E Squared. They got it running, which is a miracle, because we were told it got hit by lightning.
Right. Yeah. I've heard a lot of different stories around that piece of infrastructure.
I know,
so.
that's why I referred to it as a boat anchor, but it's alive.
Well, and that's something we'll work through those details as we get closer or farther down the road. But for tonight, I just wanted to focus on our bar screen. And we can come back around and talk about pumps and those things later. So a few pages in, we have our proposed process flow diagram, and that's just really kind of a schematic layout of you have your primary lift station, collection system to the primary lift station, and then we'll have, as your first treatment unit, will be the new mechanical bar screen. So over at the wastewater plant, come through here, remove whatever trash and debris remains, and then go back into your existing process, right into the aerated grit chamber. So, like I said, no additional pumping or anything like that is being planned. So this is just, we're taking another treatment piece and we're sticking it in a location that we think is going to be the best for the performance at the wastewater treatment plant. It's just another piece of equipment for protecting the downstream units. The proposed hydraulic profile, what this is showing is you have your lift station that we've talked about where it's going to come across. We're going to cut that force main at the wastewater treatment plant and then turn that into our new headwork system. So we're going to just position this within the site so that the new force main can easily enter into the new headwork system. I do have some larger drawings. I apologize. I only have 2 copies of these if anybody wants to thumb through. This is a little bit larger set where it has some better detail. And some of the other pages in here, proposed piping plan and those things, those are just screenshots that come off of those plan sets. And again, it's a 30% set, so we're not going to have a lot of your standard details and those type of items in there yet. You're going to have our site survey and the topo and the utilities that have been located, and then our preliminary site plan with the dimensions and the sizing of the new structure shown there to make sure it's going to fit in the location that we need it to, which that all checked out at the end of last week, so good timing. But the next set will have additional sheets with more details as we push towards 60%.
What do you anticipate to be at 60%?
So depending on any feedback from you all tonight and any adjustments we need to make, if there's any changes that you guys want to see to this, or if you see something that we're not aware of that would be problematic, we should be able to push to a 60% in the next 45 to 60 days. So, or 30 to 45 hopefully, but.
Still on tap, Travis, so I mean, that would equate to still letting this in the fall sometime.
I would, yeah, late summer or early fall.
Okay.
And I don't have an updated milestone schedule, but I do know our first 60-day presentation was due on Friday, so we're pretty close here. So trying to make sure we stay on track. Some of these different sheets in here, there's one, the headworks plan, that kind of just gives you a general over the head view, looking down where the 3 channels like we've talked about, and the 2 channels for mechanical, and then a backup bar rack. It's more what an appropriate way to call it, to be able to catch the debris. But this starts to give you an idea of how this thing's going to be configured out there. And there's some better details in those larger plans. And I'll leave those behind. You guys can mark them up or put thoughts on there, or whatever you see fit.
Curious, so with the boat anchor that's been risen from the dead, you said you have removed the
Just from the OPC,
Okay.
just to focus there. We still have in our contract to do the pumps.
Okay,
We just took them off because we want to make sure we come in and put the correct pumps in. If that's going to be something the city has committed, we're going to keep that Rotamax or an equivalent device running, then we would put in a different type of pump.
yeah.
So we just removed them from that was $180,000 is the difference.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so it dropped off $180,000 because each pump that we had proposed with the piping and some bypass pumping, it was $90,000 each. So we just dropped those off. We've also taken out some of the piping from where we had it preliminarily positioned. We were going to have to convert into gravity and manholes and those things, but because our survey came back and showed that we have enough room on the north side of the SBR, we can construct there and eliminate some of that piping and gravity. So that was a cost savings as well.
Yeah. Cool.
And then because we don't have all the ancillary pumping and those things, we've also removed the building. So you won't have another MCC building necessarily. This will be a panel out there just to run those screens. So, not a lot of new infrastructure going in around it. We'll just have our structure, and then we'll have the panels to control the actual screens. So not another building to maintain and cool and all of those things. So
Travis, my only recommendation, and I speak for myself, but also elected officials, I hope you're working with Kevin Cahoon, keeping him informed as to how this progress is going along. I mean, he is our eyes and ears on the water and the sewer. He knows more than I do, and probably more than some of the elected officials. So I just want to make sure you keep him in the loop and work as we were working with Steve Sears.
yeah, I know previously we worked with Steve pretty
Steve
closely,
Sears, yeah.
but we do need to get engaged with your new representatives from
Yeah.
Infomark.
Yeah.
Now that we're through the survey and we have our preliminary site plan and we have some of this other information, it'd be a great time to get
Yeah.
engaged with them.
Okay.
Just to make sure they don't see anything that
Yeah.
we're not seeing.
Yeah.
Any other questions of Mr. Archer?
You mentioned the building, was it in the old OPC?
There was another structure that was there to be our MCC building at one point,
Yeah.
and then we removed that out.
So that was part of the 260 or 270 that's different?
Yeah, partially, yes. Yeah, that's part of that cost out of there. The piping, the pumps being removed from this one. But yeah, so the lion's share of that was the pumps that
Yeah.
came off. So those would add back in. But
If we
I think
need-
we're around 90 or 100,000 by removing some of the ancillary piping and manholes and those things.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Travis.
All right.
So
Thank you all.
Travis, we'll see you in 45 days.
45 to 60.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next item is item 3B, is the discussion of possible action to adopt the utility rate increase proposed in ordinance 2026-001. Mr. Thomas.
As you can see in the agenda, you have a ordinance that was amended from our previous one of 2024. We put in the new rates. We are recommending CPI, as Jonah outlined, at 3.3% for electric, and for water and sewer, it would be 10%. That's the way the ordinance is proposed. If you elect to just go CPI, that's what we did last year. There's no need for you to do anything other than we're gonna have to go back and make some cuts in the public works budget. So I'm hoping to get some direction. This would be going to place July 1 with the new fiscal year.
So with our ordinance that we passed a couple of years ago, we have the ability to do CPI every year, but we
Yes.
don't have to.
Right.
And we did last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it typically just rolls in,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Do we
It's-
have to
it's
approve
automatic.
this? It's automatic, right?
Yeah, you don't have
Just
to.
the CPI.
Just the
No,
CPI, right?
the
Yeah.
extra, so that's why we've got it here, is to
Yeah.
consider
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So if we wanted just to approve CPI, do we need to do anything?
No.
Or do we
No.
need to deny this one?
You just need to tell me, Jim, we appreciate all the hard work you did, all the information you gave us, and we'd like to just keep it at CPI for another year. And I will withdraw this ordinance, and we will just have to go back to the Public Works Authority and whittle out, some extra costs.
I'm just one vote, but I'll give you an early birthday present, and I would like just CPI
Okay.
to be looked at. I don't want to put any more burden on the citizens unless we have.
Are you making that motion?
No, this is just
No.
discussion.
Okay.
We're just
That's me,
discussing,
one.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of sitting, unless we had reason to burden that extra cost. I know it's only
$12.
$52 a year
Yeah, it's $52 a year, yeah.
if we went full.
On a 5,000 gallon, right?
Correct. On
Yeah,
5,000
yeah.
gallons. So that's my piece of it.
Yep.
I'll let anybody else jump in.
Any other discussion?
I've gone back and forth on this quite a bit, and I'm in line with Commissioner Whitrock. I think that where we're at with the community and what we've asked of the community up to this point has been a lot, and I think once we get some of these projects, visible projects going. Sticks in the air for the fire station and Will Rogers done and stuff like that, then people will have a better idea of all the work that we're doing. They only the ones that listen to this online or come to the meetings understand what we're doing on the sewer side of things.
Right.
There's a lot going on, but other than that, I just think that right now with gas prices and everything else that's going on, I'm not. I'm not in favor of putting that extra burden on them right now. I think we probably need to tighten our belts a little bit more, a little bit on if we need to adjust our budgets and everything, we can tighten our belts a little bit more because we can come back to this at any time, right? We don't have, it's not once a year
Yeah.
kind of a deal or anything like that. If we decide in October that we need to do this, then we can talk about it then or something like that. So it's not like I'm saying my view is probably just the CPI for now, but I would be open to the idea of revisiting this in the near future.
Okay.
I agree with Kyle. What is the difference in the budget that it will make?
140,000.
140.
138 is estimated, of course. That's just with that, 5,000 gallons on an average household.
Just average.
Is that the average actually, 5,000?
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Somewhere in that
Yeah,
neighborhood,
yeah. Kyle waters his yard a lot more.
No, I
I might be guilty of that.
And I do too. I have a sprinkler system as
I don't
well as
even.
a
I haven't
pool.
even run it yet. I don't think.
Oh, you haven't? I've been running mine.
I'm cheap.
I
I'm
know
too
that-
cheap.
And I would just make comment that from discussing Jonah and
Yeah.
Jeff that our rates are significantly lower than all of our surrounding municipalities. So we just need to keep that in mind too. But I do, feel for yes, we have in the community have had a lot of increases in different things, gas and everything. So if we're available to look at this later, in the middle of the fiscal year, then I'm okay with that.
I think that is important to point out that we still are, and even if we were to decide to increase it at the suggested amount, we would still be significantly lower than most of the communities, and even Cimarron. Well, I guess it doesn't mean it doesn't. Cimarron doesn't really pertain to this increase, but other communities in their wastewater and sewer stuff, we'd still be quite a bit lower. But that being said, I think just timing right now for me would be a little bit better to wait.
And I appreciate the discussion. And, when 2 years ago we took a courage move to raise our rates 30% because they hadn't been addressed in 10 years, I just don't want to get back in, and I know my tenure here is limited to, months and not years, but we inherited, those of us on the council and myself, inherited 10 years of doing nothing.
Right.
Not even CPI.
Not even CPI. And so I appreciate your foresight. When we did this 2 years ago, we said, we're gonna build in at least CPI, you don't have to come back to us. And as Jonah and I looked at the analogy, and I appreciate you recognizing that we are the lowest in this surrounding area, both on electric side and water and sewer. So we appreciate the CPI movement, but I just don't want us to catch us. 30% is hard to swallow. And I was amazed that there were really no murmuring or uprising on that. But I also recognize we're in the middle of a war and gas prices are, I filled up my truck the other, I mentioned on Saturday, and I paid $120 to fill up my truck. I've never done that before. I about had a stroke. I thought maybe the machine was wrong. So I'm sympathetic of that, and the pressure is on the public, but I just want us to keep in mind that I don't want to give to future generations or future commissioners or future mayors, the same troubling burden that we had to deal with 2 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
but if that's the consensus of the board, I have an obligation to give you a recommendation, and I respect your opinion, and we will make the necessary adjustments to the budget and only do a 3.3% CPI effective July 1. I'm assuming, Commissioner Hill, you're in agreement with your
Yes.
colleagues?
Yep.
Okay. I know where the mayor stands. He and I have been.
Do we have a motion?
We don't need one.
We don't need a motion? We-
No.
Not
We're
to,
just, we're not
okay,
gonna do anything with
Okay.
it, the ordinance would die, and
okay,
I've heard your intent, so.
yeah, okay, sounds good. We'll move on to item 3C then, the discussion possible action to approve to authorize Infomark to repair the Meeker Booster Station as part of the capital improvement plan with costs not to exceed $85,000. Mr. Cahoon. No,
It's me.
Mr. Humes.
Change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
golly. I don't know if that's.
Uglier.
Yeah.
Kevin is here to answer
Okay.
any technical questions, but after this is on the budget, as you saw. We presented this before. It was on there for $85,000. After touring the facility, the risk seemed significant enough for me to suggest that we try to expedite this. There's one working pump, and that's barely. This feeds the hospital and that portion of the town. What we're recommending, or what needs to be done, is a replacement of the two pumps. There's place for two pumps. It was designed for that. One of them is working, one of them no longer exists. So we need to purchase another pump and another VFD to match that pump. While Steve Sears was here, he purchased one of those pumps, the one replacement for the one working right now, and a VFD for that. So those are already existent. This would replace both those pumps, those VFDs, put VFDs in, and then replace all of that rusty piping. You got a memo on this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Again, we would recommend this on 27's budget, but we're saying, can we do this now instead, so that we're not 2 months behind that? Because if that fails, we're going to have some significant water disruption to that portion of the city
It's
for a
about
significant amount of
25%
time.
of the city.
Where does that pump that we just purchased go?
In the Meeker Booster Station.
No, I thought Steve bought one that's already in.
No,
No, it's in
it's
the
not been
facility.
originally. He had, because of the emergency nature of it, had purchased that through your approval and the VFD, and we're going to have it hurry installed. And then it's like, well, we need the second, the redundant one that it was designed for, plus replacing all the piping. And so we had to go back and see what that would cost. And that's what we recommended in the 27 budget. And we're asking that we can do that now, start that ball rolling so that we can get this done. I mean, you saw the pictures. If you guys want to go see it, Jeremy and Daniel, it's a very different in person, and it definitely needs to be done.
Does 85 include the access to this thing? Didn't we have
Yeah,
trouble with
they-
access?
So Kevin reached out to them. They do have a contraption that will allow them to get inside without disrupting any of the structure.
Okay.
They won't be taking the roof
Well,
off.
last time you were talking, taking the roof
I
off
know,
the thing.
I know.
So I've got,
There's some rough pictures.
Dramatic at times.
So that, again, there's some pictures. Yeah.
So the first question is the scenario, we're going to leave the existing pump in there now, add the new pump that we've already purchased as the second pump, and then purchase a new pump and just wait until one of those goes down and then redo it? Like, I mean,
We would put in-
why would we replace a pump that's working?
It's barely working. It's hanging on by a thread. It's leaking out of two
It's
places.
shooting water every which way.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
okay.
barrack, it's in real bad condition. It needs to be replaced.
Okay.
In a perfect world, we would have done that. I don't know how long. It's old
Okay.
too. So
And then my other question would be, based off of what you guys see in that building, is the wear and the wear and tear and the rusting, is that all expected over time, or is that a design flaw, or do we need to do something differently to the building to prevent this type of corrosion and everything in the future? Like, I mean,
So it's all stainless steels going back with these pipes. With those pipes that were in there, yes, over time that would have been
So were the existing pipes
expected.
stainless steel, or
No,
were they
no.
other?
Yeah, obviously. A lot of stain on them and those. I mean, Kevin can add to that, but
so this
but
is
we
not
are
a
going
design
back
flaw, it's a material flaw.
and age. It's just it is really old, and those things do need replaced over time. It's just normal maintenance and wear and tear. So ideally, those would have been replaced as they started to fail. We would have replaced the additional one when it failed and got taken out. I don't know the history on that, obviously, but yeah, all the piping is stainless steel, replacing that. So to help mitigate just better equipment, better stuff than we have right now. And again, over the years, we'll replace that as we need to, and it's maintained.
Commissioner, I think it's a perfect example of deferred maintenance that the previous superintendent just neglected.
Yeah.
And when Steve Sears got here and he showed me it, I said, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
And so we got one pump purchased with a VFD, And then when Jonah, it's just slowly been getting worse and worse to the point where he said, Jim, if this thing goes down, we're gonna lose a quarter of the town, and it pumps all the way for the hospital. And so it's just mission critical.
Yeah, I get that, and I totally agree with that. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
what we're replacing it with is
Oh.
not, we're not replacing it into a design flaw to where we're gonna have to, we're gonna do
So-
this again. It's a material. And then the second thing is we've had some complaints of that side of town and Meeker and so forth around pressure, water pressure. Is this going to help at all with water pressure?
It may. I mean, they're both 40. They're a little bigger pumps than what we have in there right now. They're 40.
It has a potential of allowing for higher pressure for those residents in that area.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Is that because the water tower is not at max height for the supply coming out?
Sometimes,
Or how
I
will the
mean-
pumps increase the pressure?
So the pumps help pump it into the tower. So without
Right.
that, you
But
can't
the
get
lines
into the
going to
tower.
the houses come out of the tower, right?
Yes,
Based on
and but that
gravity?
pressure feeds those homes in that area as well. That it just helps get it to the tower, but also
Right. Oh, okay.
provide pressure for that
Okay,
area.
so it does. They're kind of tied. They're all tied together,
Yes,
basically.
yes, yeah.
Some of the
Okay.
problems you have though is just our pipe network.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically in the Meeker edition, I know for a fact, I mean, we have some lines that are 1.25 inches feeding, and we found that, right? Not too long ago, that are feeding 10 homes.
So I
You
mean,
know?
and those are the things we get to
Yeah.
deal with as we discover them through normal maintenance, and we'll continue to find age things that we don't
Yeah.
understand exactly why they did 70 years ago, but that's
Well,
the
one thing I
nature
would
of
say
any
though, to your point earlier, I mean, we have a lot of these issues that I don't know if it was neglect more so than, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it,
Yeah.
right? And we're going to try to maintain our financial stability. I mean, at some point you have to pay the piper, and we have to upgrade some of these systems. Neglected, deferred maintenance, whatever you want to call it, we're going to have to start making progress because we have systems in the ground. We don't know what kind of shape they're in, right? We experienced that just north of town. We didn't even know where it went or what it fed. So, I mean, one of the things that we're gonna have to do a better job of, and we're getting there, is understanding where our systems are, right?
Right.
And what we're gonna have to do to invest in those systems to make sure that it's sustainable.
And as we continue to build out our GIS map, North Star has been really good to work with, and that's getting better and better. And we're putting more and more there. And ideally, over time, in 20 years, we'll be able to look back on those records and say, oh, in 2027, they did this, this, and this. At this lift station, it cost this much, and these are the guys who did it, or the gals. And so that's the type of deal we want to get to, the detail we want to get to on some of that. But again, this item is for the Meeker Booster Station and trying to
Got one other question.
expedite.
In regards to your stainless, I mean, that's kind of Cadillac, right? Stainless, and it prevents the corrosion
Correct.
primarily.
I mean, that's
Typical systems, you're not putting stainless in there though, are you?
in this application, I would think almost always you're going to
You
want
are?
in
Okay.
above ground and
Is
in
the
a
stainless
station.
gonna go all the way to the poly in the ground? Or to
No,
the
it's
actual
going to
pipe?
be we're not doing anything below ground. It's all on the exposed piping.
So is there, I know your main trunks are usually a poly pipe, but what about coming up?
No, it's
Or-
not. It's not poly. I don't know
Is
what.
that line old enough? It's not.
Yeah,
it's
there's a
not-
lot of mixed
ductile or
pipe.
something.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And again, that's everywhere in any community our age. You're going to see a lot of old piping that it fails regularly. We don't have as many pipe breaks as I am used to in a community our age. So, but they are inevitable.
Yeah.
They are inevitable. As it gets hotter and hotter, they'll start popping more. As it gets colder and colder, they'll start popping more. And those are just normal. Again, as we go about that. Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
Well, we have had a number of reports that since the line break on 81 has been repaired,
Yeah.
the water pressure has increased.
As far as budget's concerned,
Wink, wink.
we're taking this now out of
Capital
26 capital.
27.
Or
Fiscal
wanting
year
to move it up.
27. We're moving it up. Yes.
Where's the money coming
Oh.
from for the 85?
for the
right now?
$85,000, where's that coming from?
Where are you getting the money for that?
You're proposing
Capital reserves.
26, right?
Yeah,
reserves.
capital reserves.
Yeah, I mean it's six is either way
You're going to go and
probably.
get this done now.
Yeah.
and not
So
late.
Yeah.
if we say get it now, you know, there is gonna be some lead time getting the new pump built, getting the VFD ready, getting the crews on site. I don't know exactly, did their proposal say on lead time?
We're 4 to 6 on the pump.
So again, this is another reason, you know, if we start July 1, we'll be able to pay for this either way out of, you know, fiscal year 27. It's up to you guys. I would say 27 is going to be more likely to get it all done, like July 1 plus, but not much more into July, whereas before we'd be into September,
They're ready
October.
to start immediately, Kevin?
Yes,
On
they
the-
want to go in and do at least the concrete pads where the pumps are set.
So they'll set the existing one we've already got in the shop.
It's in the shop already.
It's in the shop now, yeah. All right.
We have
Would
a,
recommend.
I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we approve, Infomark to repair the Meeker booster station and pay for it with capital improvement fund.
very good. Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a yes.
Sorry.
It's all right. It goes, it comes and goes.
Oh my, okay.
I don't know why it is today. I got no internet. The Wi-Fi.
There we go.
Nope, there we go. Got it.
We all get it at the same time. It all just goes.
Hey, mine was in first.
Yeah.
We need to look at the pressure on the internet.
Jeff, what Rock still hasn't voted?
I said yes.
Oh, you said yes, you can't vote.
Yes, correct. I don't have any Wi-Fi. I'm telling you, it's
Okay.
no. It says no.
That motion, item 3C is approved. Item 3D is discussion and possible action to approve budget amendments. I'm not gonna ask Ms. James to come back because she already did this. Any questions in regards to that, which she presented earlier? If not, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve budget amendments for KPWA budget amendments.
A second.
Thank you.
You two sound just like, it's gonna be Rock. I'll have to move y'all. Jeff, what
Yes.
Rock, do I need to vote for you?
Yes and yes.
Okay,
Yes vote and yes. is
Got
my
it.
vote.
Item 3D is approved. Item 4 is adjournment. We have a motion for adjournment.
I motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Jeff,
Yes.
Here, boy.
did it go out?
Hadn't yet. Not on mine.
No, we got out yet. We got it yet.
I keep refreshing, man.
It went down.
Again,
Okay,
again for the record. I'm-
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
We are adjourned. We'll reconvene as the Kingfisher Recreational Authority. You ready, Brittany?
I'm moving with y'all.
Okay. First item on the agenda is the consent docket. Do we have a motion for the consent?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Jeremy and Daniel.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you should be able to vote.
It's a long night.
Yep.
Jeff,
Yes.
okay, your motion.
Motion carries. No scheduled business, so do we have a motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment.
Thank you.
Second.
Jeff,
Yes.
your motion.
We are adjourned.
All righty.
Thank you, guys.
See everybody?
Yeah.